Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crazy D's Equipment. So we're going to do a little something a little different today. GW wrote in the comments and asked if we'd ever done any videos or would do any videos on Oliver tractors. So today we're going to do Crazy D's top 10 Oliver tractors. There's nothing scientific about this. They're not put in particular order or anything. These are just the top 10 Oliver tractors that I like in the order that I like them. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and guys, let's have that discussion. Before we get into this, guys, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're curious what's going on our social media pages, you have the two Facebook pages, Crazy D's, which is just me posting kind of the behind the scenes and what's going on around here. Or if you like to know what's on the lot, Omega Ag on Facebook. And if you just want to check out the tractor pictures and the tractors that I've come across, check out us on Instagram. So otherwise, let's go ahead and get this list started. Number 10, Oliver 70. The Oliver 70 was built from 1935 to 1948. It's a 22 horsepower tractor. And the reason I placed it where I have here on the list today is because I love the styling of an old 70. And when you think of a 1930s farm, something about the Oliver 70 is just iconically fits into that genre with those the way the front steel wheels were and the rear steel and the whole almost like a grill on those things are almost like a V8 Ford style grill and with the side shields and stuff. And I think it's just probably the most iconic Oliver tractor, and that's why I've placed it here on the list. Number 9, Oliver 440. The Oliver 440 was a 28 horsepower tractor. It was built from 1960 to 1963. It had a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder gas engine. The reason that I placed it where I placed it on the list here is I really like the styling of the tractor. At this point, they have gone from the green and red to a lighter green with a white grille, and there's something about that way that on a 440 there's that slit underneath for the steering arm on the front end, and I really like the looks of that. It's not really an Art Deco kind of design, but it is definitely a more modern take on a tractor, and Oliver's finding its way at this point. You know, the 440 wasn't anything super special about it. Ideal little tractor for tobacco farming and down south and stuff. You don't find them in my part of the country, but they are one of my favorite looking little Oliver tractors, and I would think it would be quite fun to own and to operate one of those things. So that's why I've placed it where I have on the list. Number 8, the Oliver 88. The Oliver 88 was a 46 to 38 horsepower tractor. It was built from 1947 to 1954. It had a 3.8 6-cylinder gas engine in it. I've owned one of these. There's something about that 6-cylinder gas motor. It just runs just as smooth as a baby's bottom, and even under heavy lug, it just purrs, and I just love that 6-cylinder engine. They're really high quality built tractor, and something about that design that when you got one of those with the wraparound grill, the way that grill comes up, and then we put the side shields on it and stuff, and it's just a slick looking tractor. They drive so easy. The one I sold. It is now in the museum in Branson. And I just absolutely loved that tractor. It was a high quality, very well built tractor, and I enjoyed the ownership of it. And I really think Oliver did a fine job when they built those. So that is why I have placed it where I have on the list. Number 7, Oliver 1800. The Oliver 1800 is a 65 horsepower tractor. It was built either under gas or diesel engine. It was a 4.0 liter, 6-cylinder, either way. It was built from 1960 to 1962. It came into a wide front version or a Wheatland version also. It had a row crop version. You could get an adjustable front end. There's just something about the 1800. Oliver's getting into their last of their tractors. They're getting into their modern tractors. At this point, they're owned by the White Motor Company, but there's just something about the Oliver, about that design. It's got a big, heavy cast grill out front, and these things were just definitely good little workhorses. I had a good friend that had one of these that he used in a haying operation, and I operated it for him a few times, and it's just a real comfortable tractor to drive, easy to operate. Everything's right where you want it. I mean, there's just all around a good tractor. I don't know of any flaws that the 1800 had, but from my experience with them and my operation of them, I really enjoyed running the tractor. So that's why I've placed it where I have here on the list. Number 6, the Oliver 60. The Oliver 60 was a 18 horsepower with a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder gas engine. It was built from 1940 to 1948. I kind of picked this tractor and I put this on the list. This is the baby brother to the 70. It was built a little bit later. The 70 started production way before they started building the 60. I think the 60 and the 70 are probably most, as when it comes to Oliver tractors, put more horses on the unemployment line than any other of Oliver's tractors. I really like the design. They got a really good operation station. If you're into collecting small tractors, a 60 is a must in your collection. So, but that's kind of some of the reasons that I picked to put this where I did on my list. Number 5, Oliver OC 15 crawler. The OC Oliver 15 was 71 horses. It was built from 1956 to 1961. It had a 8.7 liter 6-cylinder diesel engine. And according to the information I found in 2 different places, claims that there was only 558 of them built. So they would make them the rarest tractor on this list. I've had some experience with one of these. I had a buddy that owned one of these, and had used it to push out trees and clean out some hedgerows and some tree rows to open up some more farm ground. It was a beast. There wasn't a tree that could stop it. That 6-cylinder diesel engine just roars. And they're so well built. The undercarriage took the beating of going over those the stumps and across that ground. The tracks are built quite well. You know, this is part of Oliver years ago bought out Cleat Track and got into the crawler business, and they did a fine job, fine job when they built the OC15. I'm not for sure the production numbers, but that's the only one I've ever seen, and I was quite impressed by it, and that is the reason why I've placed it where I have on this list. Number 4, Oliver 2050. The 2050 Oliver is a 118 horsepower tractor built from 1968 to 1969. It had a 7.8 liter 6-cylinder diesel engine in it. I picked this and placed this here. I've had one. Unfortunately, the one I purchased on a farm sale, and the gentleman was in the process of rebuilding it. The motor was completely done, but the injector pump and injectors and that kind of stuff had not been put on the tractor. But it had the big balloon tires on the back and on the front, and the doc didn't want to finish the tractor up, and I ended up selling it to a collector guy that I know out in Burlington, Kansas. But I really I would love to have the chance to run that tractor, even just to drive it around the lot. They are a beast. They are just a huge, heavy-duty plow horse meant for getting out there in the plain states like western Kansas and Montana and the Dakotas and and big hunks of Canada and just dragging that plow through the ground and turning over the soil. And I just absolutely have a huge soft spot for those big old plow horses like that. And that tractor was quite impressive to me, and I really wish I had the opportunity to run the tractor for just a little bit. So, but that's the reason why I have placed it where I have on this list. Number 3, the Oliver Super 99. The Oliver Super 99 was built from 1957 to 1958. It came with 3 different motors, so let me make sure I get this right for you guys. So it came with, you either had the GM 3.5 liter 3-cylinder diesel motor, you had the Waukesha 4.9 liter 6-cylinder diesel engine, or you also would have the choice of the Waukesha 4.9 liter 6-cylinder gas engine. I tell you what, I've never have had a chance to operate one with the 2 Waukesha motors in it, but I have a buddy who has a 99 with the Super 99 with the GM 3-cylinder diesel engine, and that tractor and that motor together is an absolute beast of just a beast. I don't know who in the world would want to sit out there for 8 to 12 to 15 hours a day and listen to that GM scream, but it is impressive. That tractor is quite a plow horse, and it's I mean, again, not to repeat myself, but it is a beast. And very impressive tractor. I like the design of the tractor. When you get one with the big wide tires, and it's just the way they sit in the ground, ideal plow tractor. I can imagine being one of those, spending 2, 3, 4 days plowing the same 2, 3, 4, 500 acre field. They are a massive machine, and they are one of my favorite tractors for sure. So that is the reason why I have placed it here on this list. Number 2, the Oliver 990. The Oliver 990 was 61 horses. It was built from 1958 to 1961. It only came with the GM 3-cylinder diesel motor. I have never had the opportunity to operate one of these tractors, but I have come across them a few times, a few of the local plow days and some of the shows. They are just an awesome tractor to watch run. Again, I don't know who would want to spend that much time out in the field listening to that GM scream all day, but that motor is impressive and is one of my favorite motors. The design of the tractor, I just like the stockiness of it. It's set down, it's made for plowing, it's made for having an 8 knot or probably a 6 to 8 bottom plow behind it, and it's just definitely one of my favorite tractors. Again, like I said before, I have a really kind of a soft spot for when it comes to those big old plow horses, and that is definitely one of the tractors I would say is on my bucket list. So that's the reason why I have placed it where I have here on the list. Number 1, the Oliver 99. The Oliver 99 was a 52 horsepower gas tractor with a 6-cylinder 4.9 liter engine in it. It was built from 1937 to 1953, which makes it probably the tractor with the longest production on this list. My experience with them is I can't outpull them. When I was doing the antique tractor pulls, I pulled a Case L, a Case LA, and a International W9. I had a buddy and a friend of mine that pulled a 1940 Oliver 99, and I never outpulled him. Now, I have run into others in the past, and they've been close calls. I've either just outpulled them or were just beaten by them. The 99, I mean, it was Oliver's answer to to needing a big plow tractor back in the day, and it did the trick. The styling didn't really change from the beginning to the end on them, but they really kept that 30s flat grill, no extra tin work kind of style that was popular back in the early days, and they ran them to the end till they were replaced by the Super 99. Very well built tractor, very impressive tractor. I've always enjoyed them and had kind of dreaded them at the tractor pulls, but you know, they're probably one of the tractors that are on my bucket list. That is definitely why I have placed it here on the list at number 1.